Stop worrying about tomorrow. The future isn't something you fear, it's something you prepare for. Your habits, your mindset, your discipline, these are the tools that shape what's coming. The best investment is not in money, not in trends, but in yourself. Because when you grow, when you improve, the future has no choice but to reward you. Stop worrying about the future. You cannot control tomorrow, but you can prepare yourself today. This truth sounds simple, yet it carries profound wisdom. So many of us spend sleepless nights imagining all the possible things that could go wrong in life. We worry about careers, relationships, finances, health, and a dozen other uncertainties. The problem with this constant worrying is that it drains us of the very energy we need to face challenges when they actually arrive. The truth is, no one in history has ever gained control over tomorrow. The weather will change, the economy will shift, circumstances will rise and fall, but none of these things bow to our anxieties. Tomorrow will always remain outside of our grasp. What we do hold in our hands is today. Today is the place where our choices matter, where our actions can shape the direction of our lives, and where our preparation ensures that no matter what tomorrow brings, we are ready to face it. Think of life like sailing across the sea. You cannot command the winds, storms may come, or skies may remain clear, but you can control your sails, your direction, and how well your ship is prepared for rough waters. The person who spends all their time worrying about whether a storm might appear is wasting precious hours that could have been spent strengthening the ship. In the same way, if you constantly fixate on the unknown future, you neglect to build the habits, skills, and inner strength that would allow you to endure any storm. Preparing yourself today does not guarantee that life will be smooth, but it guarantees that you will be strong. It shifts your focus from fear to responsibility, from anxiety to growth. Preparation means investing in yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit. Instead of fearing job loss, strengthen your skills so that opportunities will always find you. Instead of worrying about financial struggles, practice discipline in saving and creating value today. Instead of panicking about relationships, develop your character so that you naturally attract the right people into your life. Every moment you spend in self-development is a seed planted for a future harvest. You may not see the results immediately, but when challenges come, you will realize that your preparation has made you resilient. Worrying about the future is like paying interest on a debt you don't owe. It steals your peace today without providing you with any solutions for tomorrow. The mind creates scenarios that may never happen, yet your body reacts with real stress, real anxiety, and real exhaustion. Preparation, however, creates confidence. It replaces fear with calm because you know you have done your part. You cannot stop the rain from falling, but you can carry an umbrella. You cannot stop change from coming, but you can train your heart to adapt. The difference between those who break under pressure and those who thrive in it is not control over the future. It is preparation in the present. Every great success story is built on this principle. Athletes train for years without knowing exactly how each game will play out. Entrepreneurs work tirelessly without certainty about the market. Students study without knowing every question that will appear on the exam. They cannot control the exact future, but by preparing daily, they stack the odds in their favor. The same applies to you. Your actions today are the building blocks of your destiny. Every book you read, every healthy choice you make, every skill you learn, every bit of discipline you practice is laying bricks for a strong foundation. So stop wasting energy on trying to predict what cannot be predicted. Redirect that energy into becoming the kind of person who can handle whatever tomorrow brings. Live today with intention, prepare yourself with focus, and trust that tomorrow will unfold as it should. The storms may come, but you will not be shaken. The winds may shift, but you will adjust your sails. The future belongs not to those who worry about it, but to those who are prepared to meet it. And preparation begins now, with the choices you make today. Invest in yourself. Knowledge, discipline, and character are assets no one can take from you. When people think about investment, they often imagine money, stocks, property, or business ventures. These things can be powerful, but they all share one fragile truth: they can disappear. The market can crash, the property can lose value, the business can fail, and the money can be stolen. External investments, no matter how secure they appear, will always carry risk. But the one investment that is permanent, the one asset no economy or circumstance can strip away, is the investment you make in yourself. Knowledge is one of the greatest treasures a person can carry. A mind filled with wisdom, ideas, and skills is a tool that works in every season of life. You may lose your job, but if you have sharpened your abilities, you can create new opportunities. You may find yourself in a new environment, but if you have studied and learned how to adapt, you will thrive. Knowledge cannot be repossessed, it cannot be stolen, and it cannot be lost in a financial crash. It grows with use, and the more you nurture it, the more powerful it becomes. Reading, learning, observing, and applying lessons every day compounds like interest, giving you returns for the rest of your life. But knowledge alone is not enough. Without discipline, knowledge becomes wasted potential. Discipline is the bridge between what you know and what you do. Many people are intelligent, talented, or gifted, yet they fail because they lack the discipline to act consistently. Discipline is the quiet power that helps you wake up early when you want to sleep, to keep studying when distractions call, to save money when spending feels tempting, and to exercise when your body says rest. It is not glamorous, but it builds a strength that no one can take away from you. Discipline means you don't rely on moods, you rely on commitment. When life becomes unpredictable, discipline anchors you. It is the engine that turns your knowledge into action and your dreams into results. Then there is character, the foundation of everything you become. Character is who you are when no one is watching. It is the values, integrity, and principles that guide your decisions. A person of character may face setbacks, but they cannot be destroyed because their worth does not depend on titles, wealth, or approval. Character attracts trust, respect, and loyalty. It makes people want to work with you, follow you, and believe in you. And unlike external possessions, character cannot be taken away. It is something you build from the inside out, brick by brick, through honesty, courage, humility, and resilience. When you invest in knowledge, discipline, and character, you create wealth that grows regardless of circumstances. You might lose a business, but with knowledge you can build another. You might face rejection, but with discipline you can keep moving until the right door opens. You might be underestimated, but with character you will earn respect that no one can deny. These investments are not just for career or money. They also shape the kind of life you live and the kind of person you become. They make you dependable, confident, and unshakable. The world changes fast, technology evolves, industries rise and fall, and trends shift overnight. If you only rely on external assets, you will always live in fear of losing them. But if you invest in yourself, you become adaptable. You turn into the kind of person who can survive any storm, rebuild from nothing, and still move forward. This is the true meaning of security, not in what you own, but in who you are. So commit yourself to learning daily, to practicing discipline even in small things, and to living with strong character. Read books, acquire skills, challenge yourself with new experiences. Set routines that strengthen your willpower and remind yourself that every act of discipline builds long-term freedom. Live by values that make you proud of the person in the mirror. This is wealth no crisis can erase. This is the fortune you carry forever. And the more you invest in yourself, the more the world will recognize your value, because no one can ignore a person who has built true inner wealth. Create your own opportunities. If no one opens the door, build your own door and focus on adding value. Too many people spend their lives waiting for someone to give them a chance. They wait for a company to hire them, for a friend to recommend them, for the world to recognize their talent. The harsh truth is that sometimes the door never opens. If you place your entire future in the hands of others, you may wait forever. Success is not about waiting, it is about creating. When life seems to block every entry, you must build your own door. That means using what you have where you are to create something that cannot be ignored. Opportunities are rarely handed out like gifts. They are earned, and often they are manufactured by those bold enough to think differently. Look at every successful entrepreneur, artist, or leader and you will see a pattern at some point. They stopped waiting for permission and started creating. A singer may not find a record label, so they share their music online and build an audience. A student may not get accepted into a top university, so they teach themselves, start projects, and prove their worth through results. An employee may be denied promotion, so they leave and launch their own business. In each case, the story shifts when they decide to stop begging for doors to open and instead build their own. But creating opportunities is not only about boldness, it is also about value. The world does not reward people for wanting more, it rewards people for giving more. If you want people to notice you, ask yourself, what can I contribute? What problem can I solve? What need can I fulfill? The sun rises every day, not because it demands recognition, but because it gives light and warmth to the world. In the same way, if you focus on giving value, people will naturally begin to notice you. Money, respect, and opportunities are the byproducts of service and contribution. This shift in mindset is powerful. Instead of thinking, I need someone to hire me, think, how can I make myself so valuable that people cannot ignore me? Instead of thinking, I need someone to give me money, think, how can I create something people are willing to pay for? When you focus on value, you stop being dependent on the approval of others. You gain control over your future because you understand that as long as you can provide something useful, meaningful, or impactful, you will never run out of opportunities. Building your own door does not mean it will be easy. It requires creativity, resilience, and patience. You might fail the first time, or even many times, But each failure teaches you how to build stronger. The people who succeed are not those who never face rejection. They are those who use rejection as fuel to create something better. Every no you hear is simply redirection, an invitation to find another way, a reminder that your worth is not limited to someone else's opinion. Sometimes, creating opportunities means starting small. You may not be able to launch a giant business today, but you can start with one skill, one service, one product, one step. The small door you build today may become a gateway for hundreds tomorrow. Think of every great company or movement. It began with someone solving a problem, providing value, and refusing to wait for permission. Opportunities multiply when you take action. The moment you start creating, you send a signal to the world that you are not a passive observer of life but an active builder. And the more you create, the more chances appear, often in unexpected ways. People notice those who take initiative, who act without waiting for approval. They are drawn to those who build instead of complain. So if no one opens the door for you, don't waste time knocking endlessly. Build your own. Use your knowledge, your discipline, your creativity, and your character to carve a path forward. Focus less on what you can get and more on what you can give. When you become valuable, when you contribute meaningfully, the doors you build will not only open for you, they will open for others as well. That is how leaders are made, how legacies are built, and how ordinary people transform their lives. The world may not owe you opportunities, but it will always reward those who create them. And the moment you realize this, you will stop waiting for someone to choose you and instead choose yourself. That decision changes everything. Be patient, and consistent success is not instant. It is built through small daily habits over time. In today's world, people are addicted to speed. We live in a culture of instant gratification, where everything is designed to be fast. Fast food, fast internet, fast delivery, and fast entertainment. Because of this, many people also expect fast success. They believe that one big action, one lucky break, or one magical moment will change their lives overnight. But the truth is, real success does not work that way. Success is not a microwave that cooks your dreams in seconds. It is a slow cooker that requires steady heat and time. It is not the dramatic bursts of effort that create greatness, but the quiet, consistent habits practiced every single day. Patience is one of the hardest virtues to master, yet it is essential for long-term success. Most people give up not because their dreams are impossible, but because they are impatient. They start something new, and when results don't appear immediately, they quit. They go to the gym for a week and expect transformation. They read a book and expect wisdom to flood their minds. They work on a business idea for a few months and expect riches to pour in. When life does not deliver instantly, they assume it is not working. What they fail to realize is that progress often happens invisibly at first. Just like a seed planted in the soil, growth begins underground, unseen by the eyes, but full of life and potential. With time and care, the seed breaks through the surface. Without patience, that seed would be abandoned before it ever had the chance to bloom. Consistency is the partner of patience. It is not enough to wait, you must also act daily in alignment with your goals. Small habits practiced consistently have extraordinary power. Think about it. No one becomes fit by exercising once, but by exercising regularly. No one becomes wealthy by saving once, but by saving and investing continuously. No one becomes wise by reading one book, but by reading every day, learning continuously. The small choices you make daily may feel insignificant, but over time, they compound into massive results. A single drop of water seems weak, but a steady stream can carve valleys in solid rock. That is the power of consistency. The challenge with consistency is that it often feels boring. Big actions are exciting, but small daily habits are quiet, repetitive, and unnoticed. Waking up early, writing one page, studying for 1 hour, saving a little money each day. These do not seem like major achievements in the moment. But years later, these habits create transformation. The world sees the success and calls it luck. But in truth, it was built patiently through unseen discipline. Many people chase motivation, but motivation fades. What lasts is consistency fueled by discipline. Motivation may get you started, but it cannot carry you through the difficult days when enthusiasm is gone. Discipline ensures that you keep showing up regardless of how you feel. Success belongs to those who are willing to do the work, even when nobody is watching, even when the results are invisible, even when progress feels painfully slow. The journey to success is like climbing a mountain. The peak may feel distant, and the path may be steep, but every small step taken consistently brings you closer. If you stop climbing because progress feels too slow, you will never reach the top. But if you keep moving step by step, with patience and persistence, one day you will look back and realize how far you have come. So do not fall into the trap of expecting overnight success. Embrace the process, honor your daily habits, and trust the compound effect of consistency. Understand that true transformation takes time. Every small action today is a brick in the foundation of your future. Be patient enough to wait for results, and consistent enough to keep building even when they are not visible. That combination, patience and consistency, is unstoppable. And when you practice it, success becomes not a matter of luck, but a matter of time. Comparison has silently become one of the biggest enemies of happiness and progress in today's world. Everywhere you look, there are perfectly polished pictures, curated lifestyles, and highlight reels designed to make you feel as though you're not doing enough, not achieving enough, not living enough. But the truth is, what you see online is not reality. It is a fragment, a carefully chosen frame that hides the struggles, the failures, and the countless unseen battles behind it. Falling into the trap of comparison is like chasing shadows. You will never catch them, and in the process, you lose sight of your own light. The person you are comparing yourself to is also fighting silent wars you may never know about. Their joy might be real, but so is their pain. Social media rarely shows the complete story, which is why building your life on the illusion of someone else's success is a recipe for frustration. When you constantly measure your worth against the lives of others, you rob yourself of the chance to appreciate your own growth. Think about it, the only fair comparison you can ever make is between who you were yesterday and who you are today. If you woke up and made progress, no matter how small, you are moving forward. That is victory. But when you fixate on someone else's path, you start to overlook your own progress. You miss the beauty of your unique journey because you're too busy looking sideways. Success is never about being ahead of someone else. It is about being ahead of who you used to be. The truth is, nobody's timeline is the same. Some people rise early, some rise late, but the rising matters more than the timing. Social media amplifies comparison by showing only the polished end results: cars, vacations, awards, followers. But behind every achievement is a long trail of failures, doubts, rejections, and sacrifices that never make it to the screen. When you compare your raw, behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's edited highlights, you set yourself up for disappointment. It is like comparing your practice session to someone else's victory dance. You're not seeing the full picture. Instead of letting comparison steal your joy, use it as inspiration. If someone achieves something you want, don't envy them. Study them. Learn from their habits, their discipline, their resilience. Admiration can fuel growth, but jealousy will only drain your energy. The most powerful shift you can make is to reframe comparison as motivation. Instead of saying, "They are better than me," remind yourself, "They are proof that it can be done." If someone else reached success, it means it's possible for you too, but in your own time and in your own way. No two seeds bloom at the same time, but each flower still carries its own beauty. Life is not a race against others, it's a journey of self-mastery. The person in the mirror is your true competition. Every day your mission is to improve that person. Just 1% more, just one step further, just one layer deeper into your potential. The trap of comparison fades when you choose gratitude. When you take time to count your blessings, to see how far you've come, and to acknowledge the struggles you've overcome, you realize you already carry enough to succeed. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's possible. It reminds you that your journey, no matter how different from others, has its own purpose. And when you embrace your path fully, without distraction, you free yourself from the pressure of keeping up. Comparison is a thief of joy only if you allow it to be. When you silence the noise, step away from illusions, and center yourself on your own path, you gain clarity. You see that success is not about being ahead of others, but about being aligned with yourself. Focus on your growth, your progress, your purpose. When you do that, you don't just avoid the trap of comparison. You rise above it, stronger, freer, and more at peace with the life you are building. The future is not built on predictions, wishes, or the endless guessing of what might happen. It is built on the quiet, often unseen habits that you choose to live by each day. People often chase signs, look for trends, or rely on luck to shape their destiny, forgetting that real transformation is not about forecasting the weather of tomorrow, but about planting the seeds you nurture today. Who you become in the future is not a mystery written in the stars. It is simply the reflection of the choices, routines, and disciplines you commit to right now. If you want a future that is strong, fulfilled, and meaningful, then you must learn to focus not on what you cannot control, but on the consistent steps you can take. The truth is, habits shape your character and your character shapes your life. Every action you repeat creates a pattern. If those patterns are filled with procrastination, laziness, excuses, or negativity, then the future you're heading toward is already being destroyed before it even arrives. But if those patterns are filled with discipline, learning, growth, and persistence, then you are quietly shaping a future that will reward you. Predictions may entertain, but habits create results. You don't need to know what tomorrow holds if you are building yourself into the kind of person who can handle any tomorrow. Think of a sculptor working on a piece of stone. Every strike of the hammer may look small and insignificant on its own, but slowly the shape emerges. The future works the same way. Every small habit, the way you speak to yourself, the time you dedicate to growth, the people you choose to surround yourself with, are chiseling your destiny. The future does not suddenly arrive fully formed. It is being built, day by how you live right now. This is why predictions without action are empty, but habits without attention are dangerous. What you do daily becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes who you are. Look at anyone who has created greatness. Their success was not the result of guessing what would happen. It was not luck that carried them forward. It was the unshakable consistency of habits that built strength, character, and resilience. Waking up early, practicing discipline, saying no to distractions, being mindful of how they use their time. These simple, daily commitments shaped their tomorrow. Even when others doubted them, even when the future looked uncertain, their habits built an inner power that could not be shaken. And that is why they thrived while others were left behind. The danger is that people often underestimate small habits. They believe only grand actions create change, while ignoring the little choices that over time create massive consequences. Eating poorly for years, spending hours mindlessly scrolling, surrounding yourself with negative voices. These things feel harmless today, but they silently build a future you will regret. On the other hand, choosing to read daily, practicing gratitude, training your body, respecting your time, and protecting your peace may seem ordinary, but they create a future you will thank yourself for. The habits you repeat are the bricks of your destiny. Each one matters. So stop waiting for predictions to align. Stop relying on what the world tells you is coming. Instead, ask yourself, what kind of habits am I building today? Am I preparing myself for strength, wisdom, and peace? Or am I preparing myself for regret, weakness, and pain? The truth is, you can already see your future if you look closely at your habits. Your tomorrow is nothing more than the harvest of your todays. If you want a powerful future, build powerful habits. If you want a brighter tomorrow, shine in your actions today. The person you are becoming in this very moment will be the one you meet in the future. Make sure that person is someone you'll be proud of. The future isn't some mystery that only luck or chance can decide. It is being written, moment by moment, through the choices you make today. When you stop worrying about what you cannot control, you free your energy to focus on what truly matters. When you invest in yourself, you carry with you a wealth that no one can steal. When you stop waiting for opportunities and begin creating them, you step into your true power. Patience and consistency may not feel glamorous, but they are the foundation upon which real success is built. Comparison will always distract you, but when you stay rooted in your own journey, you unlock your unique potential. And above all, remember this truth: your future will not be shaped by predictions or fears, but by the habits you live with every single day. So walk forward with courage. Trust yourself enough to act today. Discipline your mind, strengthen your character, and keep moving with steady steps. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that the life you once dreamed of was never the result of luck. It was the result of who you decided to become.